night with 2 tries, 171 metres and 3 clean breaks. Sam Moore made 149 metres, and Michael McAlorum 43 tackles, 10 from marker. For the losing Leeds Rhinos, Jared O'Connor, never heard of him, 54 tackles. James Harrison, never heard of him, 47 tackles. Luke Briscoe, 133 metres. And Liam Tyndall, 9 tackle busts, 125 metres and 2 clean breaks.
Yeah, only
fan
one
views.
Yeah, only one fan view, and it wasn't on someone who watched the actual game. But Tom Andrews said, "I didn't see the game, but I saw the run from the young lad. Got to say, great tackle to keep Rovers at the top of the best try of the season charts. Only thing we have a chance of winning." I still think Liam Marshall's try at Huddersfield was better than. No, but 7 debutants for the Rhinos. Wow. So they outdid the rest. I mean, one of them, James Harrison, is an established championship player in his mid-20s, but the rest were all kids. And Jared O'Connor, the son of Terry O'Connor.
Is it?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Jack Walker came back into the side as well, but picked up a knock by all accounts and went off, and I think that brought Corey Hall into the side, so that's off the bench. That's another young player who got a chance. So all in all, an unsuccessful result for Leeds, but a successful night for them finally finding a way to bring in a bulk of their young players into that first team environment, which I think they've got to see as a positive. I don't know how much of this you've seen on the highlights of this game or anything, if there was anything that stood out to you that you've read or seen.
No, I didn't. I didn't get to see this game, Mark, and I think was this the game where there were quite a few complaints because people didn't get the time anyway because the R League app failed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, both the games on Wednesday on our league, and I think maybe our league couldn't cope with doing 2 games at the same time or across the same sort of time, which is a shame. That not more people got to see it. If more people had got to see more of it, we probably would have heard more. I listened to little bits of it on the radio. It sounds like everyone. It was obviously a Leeds angle on it on the radio. Sounds like everyone was pleased with the young players, and there was that great run that Tom Andrews referenced from Liam Tyndall. There was a few other nice, moments in there. I suppose Rhys Evans got the only try though, not a youngster. It was an intercept try where he went 95 metres pretty much and couldn't get caught. So that was the only thing that damaged the Catalans' line. So you have to say it's a dominant performance from them. In terms of the Man of Steel points, Davies got 3, Yarha 2 and Maloney got 1, so they saw it as all Catalans 2. League Express Albert Goldthorpe gave Tom Davies 3, Cuthbertson 2 and Tyndall 1, so more credit to Leeds there in that one from Phil Kaplan, who wrote that match review. Bodie and Thompson got a caution for dangerous contact, but that's all from the disciplinary. If you watch the game highlights, I mean, there was that run from Liam Tyndall, but Tom Davies is the man we need to be talking about. And he's not an old guy, is he? I mean, 23, 24, something like that.
No, indeed.
Yeah. He's absolutely banging them in this year. I think that's 9 tries in 6 appearances now. Davies' hat-trick try, particularly his hat-trick try, the third one of his 3, was good. It was a neat kick from Maloney into sort of underneath the post area, but it was a really good offload under pressure from Sam Tompkins that then led to quick hands getting out for Davies in space to score. But all his hat-trick of tries were quite nice, but maybe the pick of the tries was actually the one that Davies assisted on rather than the ones that he scored. This was on the final hooter. He picked up the ball on his own wing, from dummy half, went sort of scouting across the line to see where he could go, and as he got towards the end of the all the way across the other side of the pitch, he started to straighten up and go upfield, and then found a bit of space, executed a perfect pass for Fuad Yarha to run 45 metres or so to finish it off, but it was all made by Davies. So it's clear for me that he was the standout guy in this one.
Yeah,
and, it's great to see after the Derby match injury he suffered last year on Good Friday. It's great to see him being back in top form.
Yeah, he's a super quick player. I've always been impressed with him as a winger. I was, in some ways, surprised that Wigan decided to let him go. I mean, I realise you've got Budgie coming back, but he always struck me as being a very promising winger. He's still, as you said, not very old, and I watched him play a couple of times for Catalan this year, and he's looked very impressive in those games, and clearly had a very good night this night.
Yeah, I think what Wigan saw was we had 4 wingers into 3 spots, and yeah, probably it was a case of which one does someone want to make an offer for, almost, in a strange way. So, and Tom Davies was the one that someone made an offer for when we wouldn't know how he would bounce back from his injury. He probably was the one of the 4 that was the least X factor in a way. I mean, his try scoring record was one try in every 2 for Wigan, which everyone seems to fall over themselves that's an amazing try scoring record when you look at Regan Grace's at St Helens. But when you actually compare his try scoring records to the other 3 at Wigan, Marshall, Burgess, and Manfredi, they score at, sort of 60%, 70%, 80%, well, nearly 90% for Burgess. So, they score much closer to a try a game than the 2 tries a game that Davies was at Wigan and that Grace is at. So there is that kind of thing. But at Catalans, he's clearly scoring way better than a try a game, and is taking his opportunities again. So I've always liked the guy. He seems like a really nice kid. So yeah,
he does seem like a good player.
Let's move on then to the other game on Wednesday night. It was Huddersfield versus Hull Kingston Rovers. This one looked like it had the serious, case of the weather when I've watched this one back. But it finished 32 points to 22. It was 18-0 to Huddersfield at half time. So Hull KR did make a little bit of a comeback. Marcus Griffiths was the referee overseeing ultimately Huddersfield hanging on. In terms of the stats, Rovers made more metres and had a better tackle success rate, but Huddersfield were better with the ball that they did have. 2.4 metres per carry better average gain, and 5 more breaks and 2 fewer errors. Individually, Ashton Golding with a try, 9 tackle busts, not 91, that would be ludicrous. 9 tackle busts, 214 metres, which is fairly ludicrous, 2 clean breaks. Jerry McGilvray with 2 tries, 114 metres, 3 clean breaks. Mike Lawrence doing Mike Lawrence things, 45 tackles, 14 of which were mark tackles and 120 metres as well. The guy is a machine.
Yeah.
In fact, we need to test him. Like, there's some bionic element to his performance.
Some bionic element going on.
And
got an engine in there.
Yeah, and Sam Waddu looked to be shifted out onto the wing. I mean, I think he's a centre, but he's played a bit in the second row, but he seems to have played on the wing in this one, and he got 157 metres too for that. Elliot Minchella for Hull KR had 46 tackles, 15 of which were marker tackles and 3 successful offloads. Matt Parcell, 3 tries, 11 tackle busts, 103 metres and 2 clean breaks. Ben Crooks, 10 tackle busts and 129 metres on his return to the side. Everyone's happy with that, I'm sure. And Greg Minikin, 113 metres. I mean, starting to get a bit more of an experienced look, aren't they, there? Even though they had young Will Tate on the wing, who scored his first Super League try, and from a forward pass, so it shouldn't have been given, but there you go. It didn't matter in the end. I mean, a lot of that Rovers side actually looked a bit more experienced, but not good enough to overcome Luke Robinson's informed Giants. What did Tom Andrews tell us about this one?
Tom says, pre-Rona Robbins truly are back, giving ourselves too much to do before we start having a go. I think it's about time we stop playing the ones who aren't going to be here next year and give the lads a chance to gel and develop. Parcell with one of his best games for us, celebrating that new contract. Didn't understand playing Crooks at full back and thought it was harsh to match up Tate against Jerry McGilvray. Should have been SKD.
Yeah, and
Sean
Jerry,
Down, yeah.
Yeah, and Jerry got a hat trick, but to be honest, there was no aspersions cast on Tate for that. It was all on how easy it was made inside of him for those tries. I mean, Caesar's assists for Jerry's tries, they were executed so easily thanks to him having so much time and space. They were perfectly done. One was a sort of neat chip kick over the top, and one was a big looping pass, but he had so much time to think about and pick what he was going to do that McGilvery was just going to have walk-ins, and there was nothing young Tate could do about them.
Oh.
It was 2, 3, 4 defenders in that gave Caesar all that time and space. I think Parcell, though, had was a bright spark until he got sin-binned. He took advantage of some slack defending for his hat trick. That's something Huddersfield need to be worried about. That second half defence, there's some easy scores really. Not easy. They had to be worked for, but he broke about 4 or 5 tackles on each of his tries. Really, it shouldn't have been that easy to score in the end. Someone should have stopped him on his way to his hat trick, but rightfully he was sin-binned too for it was a great take and break from Golden. I don't know if you've seen this highlight. There was a kick went up, and Crooks, who Hull KR fans will tell you is the best in the air in the league, but we're going to talk about the best in the air in the league in the next game, and he comes from the other side of Hull. But Crooks goes flying through the shot to try and take this kick, misses it by about 10 yards, but Golding's just stood there, watches it fall into his breadbasket, takes it, massive space in front of him, runs all the other way up the field, but is not the fastest fullback in the league, and we already knew that. Gets caught, but Matt Parcell holds him down to stop a clear try-scoring opportunity. But it was an exciting piece of play, at least. I don't know if you've seen any of the bits from this one.
I haven't actually, Mark. This is another one I didn't get to see, I'm afraid.
No, it's hard to follow these ones, and especially if we got so used to watching all of the matches.
Yeah, exactly.
But it seems like Aidan Caesar played it in a dinner jacket, but still got all the points. Man of Steel points 3, League Express Albert Goldthorpe points 3. Parcell got 2 in both category. It was Jamie Ellis who got 1 in the Man of Steel points. Bit weird. Because I've not seen anything else to suggest that he was good. And Golding got 1 in the Albert Goldthorpe. But yeah, Elliot Minchella's got picked up a 1-match penalty notice for a grade B dangerous throw in this game. I'm not sure what the incident was there, I'm afraid, to go into more detail about it. But like I say, from the highlights, it just seems like it was too easy for Huddersfield to get that decent lead in the first half, and that was that.
Yeah, if you get an 18-point lead, it's an unusual Super League game if you're coming back from 18 points down.
I mean, Huddersfield have let that happen a bit, but
yeah,
sorted themselves out under Luke Robinson, and it's going well. I listened. Robinson was commentating on, or not commentating. He was a pundit on one of the Salford Warrington game he did, yeah,
Salford Warrington game, and I was very, very impressed by his analysis. And I mean, you hope you understand the game, but you're never quite sure, are you, whether players have got that deeper understanding of how the game really works. But I was impressed with Robinson in his comments. So there's obviously something there that maybe he'll turn into a coach.
Yeah, because there were a couple of things that he pointed out that I wouldn't have picked out without someone like him showing me and explaining them for me to understand. So yeah, I agree. I agree with what he's saying there, and it's clearly working. What I did enjoy about him on co-commentary was that he referred to all of the other coaches by nicknames, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Watto, Pricey.
Yeah. He did. Long may that continue.
Yeah. Okay, into the final game of round 14, and it was Castleford hosting Hull FC. Live Rugby League back at the Jungle, but no crowds. It just seems so weirder than any of the other sort of modern stadiums to have no crowds at Cas. Felt even stranger than the big plastic seated stadiums. But yeah, the result finished 32 points to 28 in favour of the visiting Hull FC. It was 14-12 at half time, so it was kind of close and stuff throughout. Tom Grant was the match official. In terms of the stats, in an error-ridden match, they would have had Castleford on top if it weren't for penalties. 5 more conceded, and also tackle success rate 6% worse than Hull FC. But Cas made 153 more metres, a decent chunk of 1.3 metres per carry better average gain, for 3 more clean breaks, but they couldn't capitalise with a win as the sides scored 5 tries each and Hull kicked 2 more goals, thanks in part to the penalties given up. Individually, Carlos Tumavavi